is the 7th day of February 2021. Coincidentally, it's also a Sunday, the day that God instructed us to rest and not work and praise Him. Welcome to the Lunchtime News Roundup Bulletin. My name is Wadulo Anorld, and without further ado, let's get straight with this week's top stories. This week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni laid a foundation stone for the UPDF's National Referral Hospital at Mbuya. Now, the military hospital that is near completion was the main highlight for this year's Tarehe Sita celebrations, as these details share with us.
At Mbuya Military Barracks in Kampala is a National Military Referral Hospital constructed by the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs. On the 40th Tarehe anniversary, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, laid the foundation stone for this hospital complex in Mbuya that will serve both the military and ordinary Ugandans. The construction of UPDF National Referral Hospital started in February 2018 and has 10 intensive care units, inpatients and outpatients departments, and other specialized units.
The block we see here, the front one, will have the outpatient department, the dental, physiotherapy, neonatal dialysis, ophthalmology, ENT, and endoscopy. It has 7 blocks at 2 levels. This one next will have emergency, radiology, and general wards. And on the other side, there will be a laboratory, pediatric services, main pharmacy, and kitchen and laundry on the ground floor. Then there is another block which is on the other side also, for maternity and 4 operating theaters and 10 intensive care units.
The Chief of UPDF Medical Services, Major General Dr. Ambrose Musinguzi, believes that by July this year, the hospital will be complete.
Already the procurement of equipment, the process has started, and we believe that by the end of June, equipping will have started.
President Museveni, who counted himself lucky for living longer to say military hospital, commended the Minister of Defense for such an initiative, saying military hospitals world over are known for quality medical care.
The armies of Uganda, they had never succeeded in having a military hospital. And as you know, in many parts of the world, military hospitals are the top end of medical care in countries. I think, if I'm not wrong, when President Trump got himself corona, because he was looking for it most of the time, when he finally got corona, they didn't take him to all the other hospitals. They took him to this, I think it is called Walter Reed Military Hospital. So that shows you, and he was cured. He was cured by the new experimental drugs which they applied on him. So I congratulate you, and I wish you good luck in completing the remaining, so that we have a fully functional military hospital.
The 100 billion shilling state-of-the-art facility, constructed with support of UPDF Engineers Brigade, will see government save billions of shillings spent on treating army officers abroad.
There is a room for you. If it is, he was talking of cardiology, there is a place for you here. All the branches, he talked about them, ENT and so on. So I think this is very good for the army, but also for the country.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces currently has a number of hospitals across the country, with the Bombo General Military Hospital as a referral hospital. The commissioning of Mbuya Military Hospital was the main highlight of this year's Tarehe Sita celebrations that was officiated by President Yoweri Museveni. Bernard Higa, UBC News.
Definitely, this Mbuya facility will be a great add-on onto the Ugandan army. Now, in other news, still the President, Yoweri Museveni, this week asked Ugandans to respect one another and work for the country. Now, Museveni says politics based on tribal sentiments is not good, as always, he reiterates. Let's take a look.
National Resistance Movement chairperson General Yoweri Museveni anticipated 80% NRM win in the just concluded elections.
This specific we are talking about is just because of the poor organizational arrangements of NRM. They are not well organized. They are always not well organized. In some cases, they didn't have agents on the polling stations. This one here. But this did not stop the massive win of the NRM, as you saw.
The President re-echoed this at the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs headquarters in Mbuya as UPDF commemorated 40 years since the Kabamba attack. In his speech, Museveni discouraged politics based on tribal sentiments.
By 1965, that's why we started a new line. The line of no, don't look at people's religion, don't look at their tribes, look at their needs. Tazama mahitaji ya watu, sio kabila, sio dini.
Museveni reiterated NRM's achievements in the last 35 years of governance, mainly Uganda's growing economy, better infrastructure, education and health, among others. It is in his reign that cattle rustling in Karamoja, Joseph Kony of LRA, ADF has been defeated. Museveni believes that NRM's political investment has strengthened over the years.
So, with this, there is no group in Uganda which can legitimately oppose NRM. No way. There is no way. If you go with, why are you opposing NRM? He's opposing NRM because he's a parasite. So, I'm a parasite. You are stopping me from parasiting.
Regional integration is among the priorities Museveni calls for to stimulate economic operations among African countries.
But now I produce, when production goes up, the market is not enough. Why? Because the border is closed here, the border is closed there. This is not good. We shall end up building a Latin America in Africa if we go like this.
The elected president of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Museveni, has emphasized that in the next term, after swearing in, the NRM government will concentrate and focus more on socio-economic transformation. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Now taking you to the northern Uganda, the Karamojong this week hailed UPDF for restoring peace in their region. Now, this was during the celebrations to mark the 40th Tarehe Sita UPDF Day. Once again, we'll take a look.
Before the NRA took over power, a lot of atrocities were being committed, mostly in Karamoja. The people of northern Uganda were challenged by wars, mostly from the rebels who had interests of overcoming the regimes. Northern region had never attained peace, coupled with majority of civilians bearing guns in each household for self-defense. During Tarehe Sita celebrations, the Karamojong appreciated the great work done by the Uganda Army to bring back peace in the region.
The army is developmental, they help people to educate them on how to survive. The NRA, UPDF itself, has brought a lot of peace, excess peace. People are moving, people are doing everything necessary.
It's because of the peace that we have, that we achieved in 2007 after the disarmament exercise was conducted, where people who had illegal guns were disarmed and the peace started coming. Because otherwise people were fearing to come to this region because there was a lot of road atrocities.
The government, the UPDF took over, the NRA government came. They supported school children. They were giving us hope in the school, they were providing us with transport, and they really gave support. We were secured. We stopped sleeping in the bushes. Even the issue of transport been reduced. Because those days we used to go on foot, and yet we are away and meeting the security. Insecurity on the way.
We've really created peace in Karamoja, which has really been a big problem. They have disarmed the Karamojans who have been owning illegal guns, whose illegal guns claimed a number of lives and even destroyed a lot of property. But because of the involvement of the UPDF, we have been able to receive peace and everybody is living peacefully.
A battalion commander in Karamoja region painted the picture of the situation before the intervention by UPDF.
Now, what happened in this region of Karamoja? 1970s, 1960s, many people were slain here, they were slaughtered. 1975, how many people were killed in Matan? You know it. 700 people were fired in the morning under the orders of General Idi Amin. You know. Because they refused to put on clothes and they were habitual raiders. They were killed.
The commander requested the local people to coordinate with the army in the area so that they maintain peace.
There are very many threats that are coming to Karenga. We are facing threats from the GA, whom I don't know whether God created them as thieves or what. I'm still asking myself. Yesterday they attacked two of our places, but they failed to take the animals. It also comes from South Sudan, the Tapasa and the Turkana, including our neighbors from the east, the Turkana. They are also around. But we are doing all what we can to protect you and the property. So we are doing our part of securing our people and their property.
Mukosa Jonathan, the Kao of Karenga district, has linked the recent high victory of NRM party and President Museveni in the region to stability brought about by UPDF.
And the subsequent creation of peace has enabled the people to appreciate the government. And even when you look through the recent concluded elections, this is a region that delivered 90% in almost all districts of the region to vote for the president, to vote for NRM, and we had peaceful elections. For instance, even at the level of 5, we got an opposite chairman at the level of 3. So really, it is because of the presence of peace.
UPDF has the last 1 week been involving in community work by cleaning the town, slashing around the health centers, among others. The UPDF came into existence on 6th of February 1981.
Still this week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni promised to increase the number of judicial officers. This followed a request by the Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo, who blamed case backlog to inadequate personnel to dispose of the cases. Now, President Museveni was presiding over the opening of the legal year 2021 at the High Court in Kampala.
Lawyer is when judicial accounts to the public, the authority and resources entrusted by the people within the institutions. At the the opening of this year's legal year, President Museveni started with the inspection of the multi-billion Supreme Court building, part of which will host the Constitutional Court. The Chief Justice of Uganda, Alfonso Wadulo, thanked the President for his financial support to the project that will see justice delivered in a better environment. Wadulo, however, decried the understaffing of the judiciary, leading to case backlog in the system, a situation that might worsen with the thousands of electoral petitions flooding courts.
We have a situation where the Fourth Portal Chief Magistrate caretakes 6 chief magisterial areas. The one of Soroti and Lira are each running and caretaking 5 chief magisterial areas. This has naturally resulted in delays in case disposal and accumulation of case backlog. The judiciary currently faces the challenge of 156,054 cases brought forward from 2020. These are cases which, at the end of last year, had not been completed. It is not humanly possible to achieve the goal of eliminating case backlog when 6 out of the 20 High Court circuits are without judges.
Drawing comparisons from Parliament and the Minister of Health, Wadulo asked the government to consider establishing magistrates' court per constituency and to ensure each of the 145 districts each has a chief magistrate.
How come it is easy to create a constituency with the stroke of a pen, and it is near impossible to appoint a magistrate grade 1 to operate in that constituency? The High Court establishment must be commensurate with the population of an area and the geographical challenges.
He said the judiciary shouldn't be looked as a consuming institution, but a body that contributes to the socio-economic development of the country. President Museveni said he is in total support of the Chief Justice's proposal to have a chief magistrate per district.
In the NRM manifesto of 2021-2026, we have promised to recruit more judges and staff for the judiciary to fight case backlog and enhance access to justice. This promise should be delivered within the 5-year term. Judiciary and Judicial Service Commission should be able to work out this plan so that the recruitment is conducted in a phased manner.
Museveni commended the judiciary for automating courts to avoid crowds during sessions.
Specifically, the video conferencing system, where cases involving criminals and people that are fond of disrupting business in Kampala have been heard remotely without bringing them to the courts. As I have always indicated, I fully support the plans by the judiciary to automate the courts because of the obvious benefits of resolving cases through use of improved methods which technology affords.
He urged judges to ensure commercial cases are resolved quickly and also prioritize cases involving investors and corrupt officials.
Cases involving corrupt public officials should also be prioritized so as to account for the taxpayers whose money should be put to good use and public benefit.
The function was attended by, among others, the Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, Attorney General William Byeruhanga, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs Ephraim Kamuntu, top justices and members from the Uganda Law Society. Bernard Higa, UBC News.
In other news, the Chief of Defense Forces General David Muhoozi has launched a mountain brigade codenamed 333. Now, 333's tactical and operational base is at Kachoromya Barracks in Kabarole District. Details in this report.
UPDF leadership is looking at having operational areas across the country as the first priority.
I want to commend you for using this land for operations other than war. Very, very important. But I think where we are going, we need to be better organized. As I moved with the CLM, he talked about tractors.
The Chief of Defense Forces, General David Mhozi, says the soldiers' welfare can improve when security of the area is guaranteed. Brigadier Moses Kwichiriza, the Mountain Division Commander, said the ADF is still a big challenge in the Rwenzori region. He is, however, optimistic that with the strategic positioning of the army, they will easily wipe out rebels.
Efforts are in place to deal with the enemy, but ADF is still imminent threat to our country.
Along and astride the path, Kabarole and Mubende, it was once a pathway for ADF, so its acquisition was important, very, very important and timely.
People cannot just use this land and earn money and go. Please make sure Chikumi is here to maintain these buildings, to make sure that we have running water. This is a lot of money around here.
Kabende sub-county bordering Semliki National Park is one of the ADF suspected hideouts in Kabarole district.
The Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, and other top officials from the ministry this week inspected and observed different halls of residence at Makerere University. The inspected halls included, among others, Lumumba Hall, Mary Stewart Hall, and Africa Hall, among others. We'll take a look.
Welcome, Mama, and thank you for visiting Makerere and our halls of residence. About kids, I'm very aware you're very passionate. Mama, we have 11 halls of residence at Makerere. Actually 10. There's only one for graduate students, 10 are for undergraduate students. Of those, 6 are for male students, and only 3 are for female students. The biggest hall is in the Moga, which will be visiting later, but it is in a very bad state. Here we are at Africa Hall. The majority of our students actually don't stay on campus because we have capacity for just about 4,000 students on campus out of the 35,000. So the 31 students stay in hall. So for the 4,000 that we have here, only about 1,300 females stay on campus. The rest are
it is shared between the Institute Hall and Africa Hall. Pre-COVID, we have all the students. Pre-COVID, we used to have all the students, but after COVID, we fit students at night in shifts, in coming shifts. We structure the time at which they should have their meals. The kitchen is over there. I don't know whether you know what it is. This is where the cooking is done. We have the stoves, we have the cold rooms, everything is using there. The lights don't work. Some work, others don't. The kitchen is actually under, it is not under the department of the Anorld students anymore. It is run by the service providers. So we don't have much control over it, although we supervise for the good of our students. Every now and then we come in. Mama, welcome to Lumumba. Lumumba was constructed in 1971, and it is named after the Congolese freedom fighter, Patrice Lumumba. This room was originally designed for 2 people, and we still accommodate 2 people. The capacity is meant to be 700 students, but now we accommodate 454. And the reason why is because one block is condemned. It is dilapidated. It was in a very sorry state, and management decided to close it. Pre-COVID, there were 2 students. After COVID, we have been accommodating 1.
How many operational organs do you have?
That is our tower. So it has 112 rooms. Mary Stewart is the biggest female hall of their residence, accommodating a total of 625 students. It has a total of 280 rooms. It has a dining hall that is shared by 3 halls of residence: CCD Complex Hall, Lumumba, and Mary Stewart. When it comes to meal time, students have to walk all the way from Mary Stewart, from CCD to Mary Stewart. However, because girls are lazy, the majority don't actually come for the meals. Very few come for their meals, and because it is outsourced, when they have their money, they choose where to get their meals. But during COVID, we were having meals in shifts.
More from this week. Schools this week expressed readiness to implement the presidential directive of opening for students for semi-candidate classes by putting in place measures to observe standard operating procedures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The head teacher at Kololo Senior Secondary School, Edward Kanonya, however, wants government to improve funding for schools to contain the cost of running and managing schools amidst COVID-19 treatment costs. More details in this report.
Schools have been on lockdown since March 20th, 2020, when Uganda went under total lock upon announcing the first COVID-19 pandemic case at Entebbe International Airport. However, there has been partial easing of the lockdown in the different sectors of the economy, save for the education and other entertainment sectors of the economy that are still locked. Candidate classes of P7, S4 and S6 were allowed to open in July last year, and the candidate students are studying. During his address to the nation Thursday evening, 4th February, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni passed a directive to open schools for semi-candidate classes starting 1st March 2021. President Museveni okayed semi-candidate pupils in primary 6 and students in senior 3 and 5 are to go back to school after spending almost a year at home. The administration of Kololo Secondary School plans to first orient its students for 2 days by counseling them to be able to adapt to the new normal.
I'm doing some counseling, reorienting them to the new normal, because by the time they left, many of the things that we are now putting in place, they were not there. So we expect to, when they come, to take them through our expectations. But the good thing, the kind of things we're taking them through, they already know them. Face masking, social distancing, washing of hands, and all the rest. They are things which have been talked about over and over again.
The school has prepared to receive about 900 students for both Senior 3 and Senior 5, but prepared 28 classes to accommodate the Senior 3s to maintain social distance of 2 meters recommended. According to the school head teacher, the experience acquired in handling candidates will be used to manage students in semi-candidate classes.
Good enough, by the time these are coming in, they are coming on board, We have had the senior 4s and senior 6s, so we don't expect challenges because we have gone through this. At first, when the other candidates were reporting, we worried about the SOPs, how we are going to go about them. But at least now we have gone through the same and don't anticipate much challenges with the same candidates.
The school has put in place 50 taps in different parts of the school for hand washing. Kololo Secondary School administration calls on parents to show commitment in supporting the school because schools were also hit financially as a result of the pandemic, but promise to be patient with them.
We call upon the government to improve the funding for the schools because the cost of operations went high. When you talk about just transport, especially now for the teachers, for example, the transport fares doubled. Like sanitizing, guns, and these guns which we procured, by now many of them are broken down. So we now to go in for a fresh round of buying the same.
Meanwhile, Nakasero Primary School has also prepared 12 classes for the primary 6 pupils from the 4 streams they had previously before COVID-19 outbreak. Classes used to accommodate between 60 to 70 pupils, which is now impossible if they are to maintain social distance of 2 meters per pupil.
We had the 4 streams of 60 to 70 children. That requires us now to stream them to around 12 streams. But we do have the streams. We have the classrooms that are not being used by the candidate class, and we believe whatever they turn up, we shall be able to contain them.
The school head teacher says they have put all measures in place to prevent the students from catching coronavirus, and they have secured temperature guns to detect the temperatures.
Screening gadgets, we do screen the children. At least we have the experience of the primary 7 class, what we've been doing with them, and so far we are very safe. We have the temperature guns, the hand washing facilities, the sanitizing. We can't close out on that because we do not know where the children come from. But at least what we do is to ensure that we do what is required of us, screening them every morning.
Releasing their children to go back to school is what parents have been eagerly waiting, and head teachers are optimistic the turn-up of students in semi-candidate classes will be good.
Parents are ready, everywhere. Parents have been even putting schools on pressure to see how their children can come to school and learn. Now that the chance has come and the elective has been passed to open for semi-candidates, we believe they are ready.
Yeah, basing on what we went through with the candidates, we were able to get almost 99% of our candidates back. We almost got the same number like those who left on 20th of March. Almost all of them came back. We do expect the same for senior 3 and senior 5.
As the students return to school, parents have also been reminded to send their children with all school requirements, including uniforms. I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
More news from this week. The National Unity Platform Chagulanyi legal team, led by Council Medad Sebgona, wants the Supreme Court to nullify the results of the just concluded presidential elections, saying the entire electoral process exercise was marked by irregularities. Now, this was one of the major grounds on their electoral petition filed on Monday at the Supreme Court.
We do not want Yame to participate again. We do not want the RDC to participate again.
In the recent general elections conducted on 14th January 2021, Justice Simon Byabakama declared President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as a winner after scoring a 58.38%, putting Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu with 35.8%. Following the alleged illegalities and irregularities by Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, Monday morning, NUP legal team, led by Medad Lubega Segona, have finally filed an electoral petition at the Supreme Court, located in Kololo, Kampala district. In filing this petition before Supreme Court Registrar Harriet Sally Lukwago, NUP lawyers say the presidential elections conducted on 14th January 2021 were not free and fair.
We've asked the court first of all to annul the election and declare or order for a fresh election, to direct that the army and other security operatives that are not police refrain from the electoral process as it is an interference.
According to Counsel Segona, the presidential elections were marred with inflated voter registers, election violence, a process which is against the law.
Immediately after the election, as we were collecting our declaration of results forms from across the country, they were arresting, torturing and beating our coordinators wherever they would find them with DRA forms.
Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu also want court to cancel the recently conducted presidential elections and have a re-election that he believes will be free and fair to the nation. Although most of the electoral petition cases have been dismissed by this court following the one of Amama Mbabazi in 2016, NUP are confident that this time justice will prevail, basing on the grounds in this case.
This is one of the steps and stages in our democratization processes. And I think it is the civil way to go. You must let every Ugandan and every Ugandan institution do their work. The voters did their work, they spoke. The Electoral Commission did its work rather imperfectly.
The accused person in this matter include the President-elect, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Electoral Commission, and the Attorney General of Uganda. According to laws governing Supreme Court, the respondents, after being served, they have only 10 days to file their response, and in this case, court has only 35 days to deliver the verdict. Lydia Chomkama, Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Unrelatedly, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni this week received the poll petition from the National Unity Platform legal team. The Supreme Court Registrar Harriet Sally Lukwago witnessed the serving to NRM represented by the party's Secretary General Justin Kasula Lumumba, while President Museveni was represented by his lawyers from Karujire and Chiriowa Company advocates.
Not want the RDCs to participate again in electoral matters.
Monday this week, the National Unity Platform legal team, led by Counsel Mildred Lubega Segona, filed an electoral petition in Supreme Court challenging the victory of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in the 14th January 2021 presidential elections. It has been a while since NUP legal team looked for President-elect General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to serve him with a petition filed against him. Wednesday morning, after receiving instructions from National Resistance Movement Party Chairman General Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni, NRM's General Secretary Justin Kasule Lumumba and Chiriowa Chiwanukani Company advocates finally received the petition from the National Unity Platform legal team, led by Counsel Emily Anthony. The service was witnessed by the Supreme Court Registrar Harriet Sally Lukwago at Supreme Court located in Kororo. After receiving the petition, the National Resistance Movement General Secretary Justin Kasule Lumumba addressed the media.
And I'm here on behalf of the NRM party that sponsored the candidate to witness that. And it has been done, and here we are going back to look at the grounds in the petition and also wait for the program from court. Then we shall do the needful.
Kasule, however, is convinced that NRM legal team is more than set to defend the party's victory, saying everything was done in accordance with the law.
And we have our declaration forms ready. And when we call on you to come and swear an affidavit, please do come, because we must defend our victory.
Lumumba also clarifies on the delays by the party chairman to receive the petition.
So as of yesterday, nobody had received instructions from the candidate. As you are aware, we have elections for local councils today. This is the most massive election. Elections in the 2,189 sub-counties.
Wameli Anthony, one of the NUP legal team, says they are now waiting to receive a reply from the respondents after serving them. The National Unity Platform legal team, in filing this petition in Supreme Court, based it on 25 grounds. However, according to Counsel Ameli Anthony, the applicant is to file more evidence.
We have served them before the registrar of the Supreme Court, and now our work is done. We are just going to file an affidavit of service. We have already served the Attorney General and the Electoral Commission, so we just await a date from court on when to have the pre-hearing meeting.
After receiving the petition, the respondents are only left with 3 days to file their rejoinder. The accused parties in this matter include the President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni, the Electoral Commission, and the Attorney General of Uganda. Among the grounds in Nupu's poll petition, they want court to declare a fresh election to cancel the victory of President Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni. Among other grounds, Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Definitely a developing story we shall be following up on. In other news from this week, the International Criminal Court convicted Dominic Ongwen, a former commander of the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA, on 61 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Presiding Judge Bertram Schmidt said that Dominic Ongwen's criminal responsibility was established beyond any reasonable doubt. More details in this report with Samuel Senano.
With 70 counts of war crimes against humanity, Dominic Ongwen, a former commander of the LRA rebel group, is the first defendant at the ICC to face so many counts. The trial chamber, composed of Judge Bertram Schmidt, Judge Peter Kovakas, and Judge Raul Kano, analyzed the evidence submitted and discussed it before the trial and found beyond any reasonable doubt that Ongwen is guilty of attacks against the civilian population, further sexual and gender-based crimes he committed against girls and women within the Senior Brigade, and the crime of conscripting children under the age of 15 into Senior Brigade and using them to participate actively in hostilities.
The chamber has therefore convicted Dominic Ongwen of a total of 61 crimes, compromising both crimes against humanity and war crimes. To try to sum up in a few words the lengthy and technical verdict rendered by the chamber, Dominic Ongwen has been found guilty beyond reasonable doubt of a number of crimes committed in the context of the four specified attacks on the IDP camps of Pajule, Odek, Lukodi and Abok. Attacks against the civilian population, murder, attempted murder, torture, enslavement, outrages upon personal dignity, pillaging, destruction of property, and persecution.
In his defense, Ongwen, through his lawyers, had cited mental defect during the period he is alleged to have committed these crimes. He further argues that he was under duress when he is alleged to have committed the crimes. However, the trial chamber judges didn't find any evidence supporting these claims.
Dominic Ongwen did not commit the crimes found by the chamber under duress. There is no basis at all in the evidence to hold that he was subjected to a threat of imminent death or imminent or continuing serious bodily harm to himself or other persons at the time of his conduct underlying the charged crimes.
This case was also the first at the ICC to involve an alleged perpetrator and victim of the same war crimes. Following this verdict, the chamber will impose on Dominic Ongwen the sentence for the crimes he has been convicted.
For the purposes of determining the appropriate sentence, the chamber will also consider submissions by the prosecutor, the defense from Mr. Dominic Ongwen, and the legal representatives of the participating victims. A decision in this regard, including as concerns the strict timelines of the proceedings leading to the imposition of the sentence, has also been issued by the chamber this morning.
Uganda was the first country to refer a case to the ICC. This referral led to arrest warrants being issued in 2005 for 5 of LRA top commanders, including the rebel group's leader Joseph Kony, his then deputy Vincent Oti, and Dominic Ongwen. Ongwen surrendered himself to U.S. forces in the Central African Republic in January 2015, and his trial before the ICC began in December 2016. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
Now, in this same regard, the residents of Gulu City in northern Uganda this week welcomed the decision by the International Criminal Court on Dominic Ongwen. The locals in northern Uganda say that such a decision will deter others from committing similar atrocities. More details with Henry Okrut.
Though the mood in northern Uganda is not reflective of anxiety, there is something big coming up.
Will it be a guilty verdict? Will it be a non-guilty verdict?
The final judgment in the case of former Lord's Resistance Army rebel commander Dominic Ongwen is set for Thursday afternoon.
This year, the judges issued a decision that they will come up with an announcement of the verdicts in the case of Dominic Ongwen on the 4th of February. Now, everybody in the north, everybody out there wants to be part of this process. After the long wait, after following, after knowing about what the court can do, what the court cannot do.
But even as the final verdict comes up, without appearing to be judgmental, some residents from the main northern town of Gulu have reservations. Alfred Owiny, not real name, is a former LRA combatant who was abducted on his way from school in 1992.
Finally, they start training us how to operate the gun. And telling us, okay, if you escape, so we can pull you up to where we arrest you, then we kill all those people around there.
He says he had an opportunity to mingle with all LRA commanders before finding his way back home, taking advantage of amnesty. To him, Dominic Ongwen is not as bad as portrayed.
Ongwen also, he abducted also. Ongwen doesn't join LRA freely like those brigadiers. You know, I think you understand my word. So if the brigadiers is forgive, they go, those people has already forgiven them, why can't they forgive also to Ongwen?
However, regardless of whether he was abducted while young, some high-ranking government officials say the atrocities committed by LRA are indefensible.
The decision made should not encourage it to again happen for others to do the same.
For now, it is all set for the judgment, and 3 public viewing places have been organized in northern Uganda.
We have one at St. Monica Adelt in the middle of Gulu town. We have one at Baulik, just next to Holy Rosary Primary School. And then we have one in the Laibi division near at the home called Gangpa Oweka. These are only the 3 organized centers. But other than that, we also have community listening centers.
Uganda joined International Criminal Court in 2002 before referring the LRA situation for scrutiny at the Hague-based court.
Among the 5, 2 are already confirmed dead, and according to the Rome Statute, proceeding against a dead person has to be terminated, and consequently, proceeding against Rascal Okoya and Okoto Diambo were terminated because of their death. Proceeding against Vincent Oti is still not yet terminated.
Whereas Vincent Oti was reported dead years ago, his indictment still stands, as his death is yet to be confirmed. Dominic Ongwen, whose case judgment is set for Thursday, is facing 70 counts of crimes against humanity and war crimes at the International Criminal Court. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Keep in mind, this is the weekly news roundup bulletin, and that story has since been updated. Let's now take a short break. When we return, we'll be back with business.
Enjoy great value from Airtel with the all-new My Pakalast combo offers. We have customized especially for you the best deals on minutes, data, and SMS with our 3-in-1 My Pakalast combo to give you the best value as you stay in touch with friends and family. To activate My Pakalast voice combo, dial *100 *2 *1 hash to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back. It's now time for business news from the week. Uganda Airlines this week received the second Airbus A330-800 Neo from the European plane manufacturer Airbus. The Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, received the aircraft at Entebbe International Airport. The new wide-body aircraft and the other received last year are touted to serve the national carrier's long-haul routes in Asia, Europe, and Middle East. More details in the story with Samuel Senono.
330-800 new aircraft, nicknamed Mount Renzori, is the latest addition to Uganda Airlines fleet, which currently boasts of 4 Sierra General jetliners from Mitsubishi and 2 wide-body jets from Airbus. In place to receive it was the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, and other officials from different government institutions. Uganda Airlines says the arrival of the second Airbus A330 will herald the opening up of more routes on top of the 9 regional routes they are currently serving.
We are working steadily to expand our network, and from the 6 countries that we are flying to now and the 9 destinations that we have opened, we are soon looking forward to adding other destinations. I'll mention just a few: Johannesburg, Harare, Khartoum, Addis, Kigali, Lagos, Accra, and with the A330neo, we are looking at connecting Uganda to the Middle East, to Europe, as well as to Asia. Over the past year, we have worked on a number of systems to strengthen the airline, and we are pleased to say we are at the tail end of that program to make Uganda a solid international airline that's connected worldwide.
Works and Transport Minister General Katumba Wamala called upon Ugandans to support the national airline.
This aircraft and others in the fleet are national assets, and I want to congratulate all Ugandans on this new acquisition. I call upon all Ugandans to continue supporting this effort and also patronize the airline. Patronize the airline. If you are flying in any destination where Uganda Airlines fly, please let the Uganda Airlines be your first call, unless if it's not there.
His counterpart and Finance Minister Matia Kasaija tasked the airline management to ensure that their operations reap returns on investment.
I know the aviation industry at times is very difficult to make easy money at the beginning, but we must have a strategic plan how we turn this business into a profitable one.
On his part, the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, hailed the team of professionals at the helm of Uganda Airlines who have overseen its revamp.
Pilots, Ugandan pilots, and aircraft engineers played a critical role to give all the necessary technical information about starting of this airline. So really there are technical personnel in advising political leaders to do right things for the country and for the continent and for humanity is crucial. And this new airline is a living example of what this technical input and the political decisions, policies, and way forward can really produce. So I thank the pilots and engineers who were involved in this exercise.
For now, Uganda Airlines has submitted its application for inclusion of the Airbus on its air operator certificate, and this process is being overseen by the regulator, the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
Now, still in business, government is committed to investing significant resources in improving the road infrastructure in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Trade and Industry Minister for Amelia Chambade believes that the initiative will spur trade between the two countries in time to generate substantial revenue in the long term.
Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, is a highly lucrative destination if government invested further in it, says Amelia Chambade, Minister for Trade.
But for us, it's for us to try and look for opportunities in the regional markets, African Continental Free Trade Area, COMESA. So this one was an advantage because we are all members of COMESA. We are all members of African Continental Free Trade Area. And we could see there was a lot of potential. So we felt that it was important that we develop it further.
Government has already developed some road infrastructure linking up the two countries to various borders, including Pondwe and Bunagana. Improvement of infrastructure in the DRC is expected to boost trade and generate substantial revenue to Uganda's economy.
At least DRC, you can see, was much better off than trade with the other countries. Rwanda, of course, there was a big drop. Kenya also, there were challenges because of the testing at the border, the delays. But now the trade flow has regained. And you can see we are regaining.
Total exports to the DRC have increased from $399 million in 2016 to $579 million in 2019. In the last decade, exports to the Democratic Republic of Congo have been growing at an average annual rate of 13%. However, on average, 57% of the exports are informal. Charlotte Amuge for UBC News.
Double data. Airtel introduces double data, the biggest deal ever on smartphones in Uganda. Buy a smartphone, 3G or 4G, and get 100% data bonus from Airtel. Airtel is giving you 100% bonus data on all weekly and monthly bundles for every new smartphone connected to Airtel for the first 3 months. Dial *175*9# to enjoy double data. Double data, double data. Oh, binovie biruma baya yeah. Airtel, the smartphone network, regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Well, we've come to the end of our bulletin this weekend. What can I say? There's still more a lot to achieve. The second month is right here, and we have about, is it 10 months to go? Yes, 10 months. So what can you do with 2021 that you did not do or you missed out in 2020? My name is Wadulo Anorld. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Good afternoon.
Stay connected to the largest 4G network in Uganda, anytime, anywhere, using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi, available at only 123,000 Uganda shillings. This comes with 15 GB free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 users at a go and still enjoy a shared yet unmatched internet experience. Dial *175*9# to activate free 15 GB. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Aaron, your online classes are about to start. Do you have your writing materials ready? Do you have your notebook ready, your sharpener, your rubber, your ruler? We need to put off things that might distract you during the lesson so that you pay attention to the teacher. By the way, this is your new classroom environment. The teacher will be bringing you lesson online. Respect them.
Yes.
Dear parents,